Before this video goes any further, I want you to do something. Think about the last time someone said, "You're too sensitive to you." Maybe it was a friend. Maybe a coworker. Maybe someone who was supposed to love you. And here's the thing, you didn't just hear those words. You felt them. In your chest. Hours later. Maybe even days later. If that hit a little too close to home, stay with me. Because today we're not going to talk at you about sensitivity. We're going to talk for you. Being highly sensitive is not a personality flaw. It is not weakness. It is not immaturity. And it is absolutely not something that needs to be fixed. But here's what nobody tells you. If you don't understand it, if you don't know how to work with it instead of against it, it will quietly drain the life out of you. Today, we're covering 3 things. 1. Where does hypersensitivity actually come from, and why do some people feel everything so deeply? 2. Why is the modern world specifically designed to overwhelm a sensitive person's nervous system? And 3 very real, very practical directions to help you live with your sensitivity instead of suffering through it. Let's get into it. Here's something most people get completely wrong. They think sensitivity is a choice. Like you could just decide one morning, you know what, I'm going to stop caring so much. That's not how this works. Not even close. In the 1990s, psychologist Dr. Elaine Aron identified something she called the highly sensitive person, or HSP. Her research found that roughly 1 in 5 people are born with a nervous system that is fundamentally wired differently. Not broken. Not defective. Different. A highly sensitive person's brain processes sensory and emotional information more deeply than the average person. Loud environments feel louder. Conflict feels heavier. A shift in someone's tone of voice doesn't just register, it echoes. And here's where it gets fascinating. This trait has been found in over 100 different animal species. Which tells us something important. Evolution kept this trait around on purpose. Because in any group, you need people who notice things before anyone else does. You need people who can feel when something is off. You need people who process deeply before they act. Sensitive people were never the weakest ones in the group. They were often the most essential. The ones who caught the warning signs. The ones who held the emotional center together. The ones who made sure the group didn't fall apart. So when someone tells you that you feel too much, what they're actually saying, without realizing it, is, you process the world in a way I don't understand. And that's their limitation. Not yours. Now here's where things get uncomfortable. Because even if you fully accept your sensitivity, even if you wear it like a badge, the world we live in right now is uniquely, almost aggressively, difficult for people like you. And it comes down to 3 specific pressure points. Pressure point 1. You were never taught that your sensitivity was valid. Think about childhood for a second. If you were the kid who cried at movies, who felt genuinely devastated when a friend was upset, who couldn't shake off a bad day like everyone else seemed to, what did the adults around you say? Toughen up. Stop being so dramatic. You can't let everything affect you like this. And so you learned something dangerous very early on. You learned that the way you naturally experience the world is wrong. So you started performing toughness you didn't feel. You started swallowing emotions that had nowhere to go. And the cost of that performance? Anxiety, exhaustion, and a deep, quiet sense that something is fundamentally wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. What was wrong was the lesson. Pressure point 2. Digital life weaponizes your sensitivity against you. A regular person checks their phone and sees a notification. A highly sensitive person checks their phone and experiences a cascade. That message left on read isn't just a message, it's a question about your worth. That passive comment in the group chat isn't just words, it's something to be analyzed, replayed, and turned over 100 times. That photo your friends posted, the one you weren't in, doesn't just sting for a second. It opens an entire emotional file. And social media wasn't designed with your nervous system in mind. It was designed to maximize engagement, which means it was designed to maximize reaction. And nobody reacts more deeply, more personally, more completely than a highly sensitive person. You are, without meaning to be, the ideal target for a system built to keep people emotionally activated. The algorithm doesn't care about your peace. But you have to. Pressure point 3. You absorb other people's emotions like a sponge. This one doesn't get talked about enough. Highly sensitive people don't just notice emotions. They carry them. You walk into a room where two people have clearly just argued, and even if nobody says a word, you feel the tension settle into your own body. Your coworker is stressed, and somehow, by the end of the day, you're the one who feels drained. Someone you love is sad, and you can't fully relax until they feel better. This is called emotional contagion. And for sensitive people, it runs on overdrive. The beautiful side is that you can sit with someone in their pain and make them feel genuinely less alone. The dangerous side is, you often can't tell where their emotions end and yours begin. You're carrying a weight that was never yours to carry. And nobody taught you how to put it down. So what now? Do you build walls? Go numb? Delete every social app and move somewhere quiet? No. The goal is never to stop being sensitive. The goal is to stop being unprotected in your sensitivity. Here are 3 directions that actually work. Direction 1. Validate yourself before the world gets the chance to dismiss you. Here's the pattern that destroys sensitive people most often. Something affects you deeply. You feel it fully. And then, almost immediately, you turn on yourself. Why am I like this? Why can't I just let it go? What's wrong with me? That second layer, the shame about the sensitivity, is often more damaging than the original feeling. So the direction is this. When something hits you hard, before you analyze it, before you explain it to anyone else, just say to yourself, of course this affected me. That's how I'm wired. That's it. That's the starting point. Not toxic positivity. Not pretending everything is fine. Just removing the self-punishment from the equation. Because you cannot heal something you're constantly judging. Direction 2. Learn the difference between feeling and absorbing. You are allowed to feel everything. You are not required to keep everything. This is the skill that changes the game for sensitive people. When you're sitting with a friend who's going through something hard, you can be fully present, fully compassionate, without taking their storm home with you. A practical way to think about it. Imagine you're a glass door. Light passes through. You can see what's on the other side clearly. But the weather stays outside. Your sensitivity lets you see people clearly, their pain, their joy, their truth. But their weather doesn't have to come inside. This takes practice. It's not a switch you flip. But every time you notice yourself carrying someone else's emotional weight, and you gently set it down, that's the skill getting stronger. Direction 3. Build a life with spaces that don't demand performance. Sensitive people are exhausted partly because they're always on. Always reading the room. Always calibrating. Always managing how they're being perceived. What they desperately need, and rarely give themselves, are spaces where none of that is required. A relationship where you can say today was a lot, without having to explain or justify it. A morning routine that gives your nervous system a slow, quiet start before the world rushes in. A creative outlet, writing, music, running, cooking, something that is yours and only yours, with no audience and no performance. Sensitivity flourishes in safety. And safety is not something you wait to be given. It's something you deliberately build, one honest conversation, one protected hour, one real friendship at a time. If you made it here, I want you to hear this clearly. The world is louder than it's ever been. More demanding. More reactive. More relentless. And the fact that you feel all of it so deeply, that's not a design flaw. That's actually the thing that makes you remarkably human. The work isn't becoming less sensitive. The work is becoming more protected, more boundaried, and more at home in yourself. Drop a comment below. Which pressure point hit closest to home for you? Was it the childhood dismissal, the digital spiral, or carrying everyone else's emotions? I read every single one. If this gave you even one moment of feeling genuinely seen, share it with someone whose feelings always seem to run a little deeper than everyone around them. They need to hear this too. Like the video, Subscribe for more psychology content that actually speaks to how you really experience life. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourself. You feel a lot. Make sure some of that care comes back to you.